Hey guys, what's up? It's Thomas from Team Afterlife coming to you today to talk to you about what might be the best decks next format, what to keep your eyes on, just kind of a few ideas I have here. Well, the first deck, this is actually going under the presumption that Dragons in Prophecy cannot compete next format. Let's just say they got hit really bad by the ban list, completely destroyed for whatever reason. They were not going to be on there. They can't compete at all. But just remember that they probably will still be competitive next format, so take this with a grain of salt. Some of these decks depend entirely on them decks being dead, so yeah. First deck I'm going to talk about is Constellar. A lot of people are giving them a lot of hype right now, mainly because they can compete right now, so it's a pretty good deck. Shark Fortress makes it so they'll be able to beat 3 access early game. Late game 3 access is probably going to have a major advantage over that deck, but it all comes down to that. Constellar would probably be one I'd give most of my money on out of all the decks I see people talking about. Next one, Evil Storm. I am not going to give this deck any credit at all. It's a really good deck, but I don't see it being the best deck next format, simply because of its speed problems, and it has really, really terrible matchups against some other decks. Next one, Hunder. Hunder is a really good deck, but we saw how they were during the Marmel and Firefist age. In my opinion, they were way better than Firefists, but that's pretty much because of how good of a matchup they had against Firefist, and Crimson Blader was really devastating against Marmel at that time. The next deck I'm going to talk about is going to be Marmel, actually. Assuming they don't get completely destroyed by the list, if say just Dragoons go down to 1, they can still definitely be one of the best decks. Fire Fists. Let's talk about 4 access first. 4 access with 4 access done, or just like the one we saw that was popular over here with Rabbit. That can definitely be one of the best decks. I don't see them getting hit by the ban list. It's possible, but 3 Axes is now coming out. If Marmel and if Dragons and Prophecy get hit really hard, Fire Fist will probably be one of the best decks. It depends all upon the the Marmel, because Gaios is really, really bad for Fire Fist. They have trouble getting around it. Next one people are giving a lot of love to is Madolche. Alexander Thomas is amazing with this deck. He deserves all the credit. But yeah, I just don't see it being the best deck. It's a really good anti-meta choice, but I don't see it being the best. Template gadgets. Template gadgets is definitely something I would see in the running. I don't see them touching that deck at all, except for maybe the Big Eye might hurt them a little bit if they hit Big Eye. Besides that, I don't see that deck going down even a little bit, and I see it definitely having a running stand for being the best deck. We're going to talk about a few of the older decks now that we saw in the past. Chaos Dragons. Excuse me. Chaos Dragons, I can see them possibly coming back. They had a few tops during Marmel time. If Marmel don't have Big Eye, they'd have a lot of trouble with that. I see Fire Fist definitely beating them, though. Wind-ups, we saw how they were during the Marmel time. They were still topping. I definitely give them a decent bit of credit. Same with Inzektor. They were still topping. Give them credit. They have a decent chance. Rabbit deck, whether it be Dino Rabbit, Fire Fist Rabbit, whatever it was called. Dino Fists? No. Yeah, Dino Fists. But anyway, Evil Swarm. I could see that possibly being the best deck again, which I really hope not, because I was really hoping for Logia not to be around anymore. Dark World, too inconsistent. If they become best deck, you'll have a bunch of people siding against them, and they can't get past their inconsistencies. Out of the new pack, besides the 3 axis, you could see Fire Kings rise up if Bahamut and Big Eye become less popular, because that's one of the major things keeping it down right now. I mean, Ophion helps a lot against that deck and everything, but honestly, they would still have a decent matchup with dragons and everything if it was not for the fact that they would steal Grunix every time it was summoned. And Bujin. Bujin plays a lot like Heroes, which is another deck I forgot to mention. Heroes, they'll always be good. So, yeah, Heroes is always a good deck to invest into. Same with Stick Sams. You know, all of them decks everyone claims to be the best decks at the beginning of a format. Bujin is probably going to be one of the best decks after the next pack. It plays somewhat similar to Heroes from what people tell me. I've seen it. I don't really call it similar to Heroes. The strategy is pretty much keep one monster on the board and then hand traps with, they pretty much have 3 or 4 Honest because they're light. It can be searched, their main monster can be searched out with Tanky and he can always get like more and more Honests. But I see Fire Fist like completely dominating that matchup simply because he'll get rid of the main guy really fast. Who knows? We'll have to see how it works out. But yeah, that's my opinion. If you think I missed a deck or there's another deck you'd like me to talk about, please mention it. I'll be glad to talk it out with you. Peace.